Hey, welcome to the show. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and today we're going to be looking at some polls about the raid at Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Now, this is going to tell us how the American people allegedly feel about the raid. Was it legitimate? Is it a little political? Which side are you on? So first, we'll look at the polls from the different news sources, and then go to my community tab where you could join in on the fun and answer some of these poll questions. And we can see if you guys feel the same way as these polls say the American people do. So first we stop at The Hill, and the headline reads, most in new polls say FBI search of Trump's home was appropriate. So let's look at the poll. In the Wall Street Journal poll released on Thursday, 52% of Americans agreed with the statement that the search was part of a legal and proper investigation to determine if Trump wrongfully held classified documents at his Florida residence. So more than half the country believes the investigation was, quote, legal and proper, while 41% viewed the FBI search as part of an endless witch hunt against the former president, according to this poll. Now, obviously, if you're talking about Republicans versus Democrats, 80% of Republicans characterize the search as a witch hunt, while only 5% of Democrats characterize it as a witch hunt. Now, if you're concerned about how this raid is going to affect voters in November, most respondents, 51%, said the Mar-a-Lago search would not impact their likelihood of voting in November. But when you break that down to party lines, more Republican respondents said the search would impact their likelihood of voting in the midterms, with an astonishing 64% saying it would likely make them more likely to cast a ballot. So essentially, what this means is that the Republicans may, again, I want to make it very clear, the Republicans may have an issue to get their voters out, because obviously it's about getting your voters to the polls. And if this poll is correct, then this issue may have the effect of mobilizing Republican voters to go to the polls. So this poll was done by Impacts Research. So this is a Wall Street Journal poll, and it has a margin of error of 2.7 percentage points. So let's look at another poll here from the New York Post, where it says half Americans say Trump should be prosecuted over Mar-a-Lago raid docs poll. So in this other poll, 59% of Americans say Trump keeping the boxes of classified documents in his Florida home was inappropriate. So it's almost 6 in 10 Americans. And it's split 50-50 that 50% of the American people believe the former president should face criminal charges, while the other 50% don't believe he should. Now, since the raid, it makes you think, how many Americans are following this? Well, here, 76% of Americans say they are following the developments closely, evenly split between very closely or somewhat closely. So people are concerned about it. Now, this is the part where I think is interesting. When asked, are the allegations against Trump serious? 64% of respondents said they were. They were either very serious, 49%, or 15%, which said they were somewhat serious, with 32% of respondents said they were not that serious at all. For instance, 13% said they were not too serious, and 19% said they were not serious at all. So again, more than 6 in 10 Americans believe these are serious charges against the president. And obviously that splits down party lines. We hear only 3% of Democrats consider these claims to be not serious at all, but 96% of Democrats say the allegations are very serious or somewhat serious. 96%. That's very, very strongly down party lines. Now, another thing I think this poll showed that was extraordinary is that it seems that neither one of the leading candidates for presidency do the American people even want to run. Americans, by a 67 to 27% margin, say Biden should not seek re-election. That's almost 7 in 10 Americans saying Biden should not run for a second term. And when it comes to Trump, well, it's 62% that say Trump should not run again for the presidency. So we have two candidates who are wholly unpopular, where 6 out of 10 people you meet in the street say we don't want them to run again. But they may be our only choices. Now, when it comes to Biden's approval rating, it has been on the move. It was about 40% of Americans approve of the job that Joe Biden is doing. It's a 9% increase since July, but understand he's still underwater. 52%, more than half Americans disapprove of what Joe Biden is doing as president. His job performance is a problem. Now, this survey was between August 25th and August 29th and has a plus or minus of 2.5%. So it seems to me that most Americans, 64%, think this investigation is serious. 76% are following it closely, and 59% thinks it was inappropriate for Trump to keep classified information at Mar-a-Lago. And more than half the country, 52%, feels the search was part of a legal and proper investigation. But what do you think? Do you think this is serious? Are you following it closely? Well, answer these 4 questions in the community post linked in the description, and let's see how you guys come out on this issue.